In addition, the advisory board that he has is populated by astronauts, aerospace professionals, and ex-NASA personnel. And the mission of the Space Museum is touching the past, inspiring the future. Mr. Mullins, who is an innovator and a problem solver, is, now I have that somewhere, he's currently employed as the manager of secondary operations at Simcoe Plastics Company of St. Louis, Missouri. So, he's not only going to give us a wonderful presentation, but he's also going to have a wonderful demonstration afterwards. So after his speech, if you will turn your chairs and head that direction, you'll be able to see his presentation called Rockets Rule. And his presentation today is Space Exploration, an Expense or an Economic Investment. Mr. Mullins.
Okay, don't take my speech. I hope not.
Don't confuse mine.
Thank you. Weighs 14 pounds and you're going to get every bit of it. It's an absolute privilege to be with you today. I want to commend the organizers of this first annual UFO Revival for doing a remarkable job, and as such, let's give them a big round of applause. Being from a rural community myself, I realize that sometimes these events are a very hard sell, but I want to tell you something. I think we have a very respectable crowd here for a Friday morning, and you ought to give yourselves a round of applause for being here. Hi, Lowell. I was beginning to think we were going to have to send the militia after you. Gentlemen, it's just walking in is Lowell Grissom. That is Gus Grissom's youngest brother, our second astronaut. And he will be speaking to us as well today. And Bobette! Hi, Bobette. How are you today? Good deal. Good deal. Well, I guess what I really need to do today is a couple of things before we get into the speech, and I'm going to do something that I don't normally do, which is read from a prepared text, because as I get older, my mind gets shorter, and there's a lot of things that I really want you to know, and I don't want to forget anything, and you know, usually whenever I spoke extemporaneously, I would go to a place, and I would be involved with 3 speeches, the one I want to give, the one I give, and the one I should give. But anyway, let me tell you a little something about the Space Museum and maybe a little more about myself. The Space Museum is a very, very serious project. It is a project that is beginning to grow in momentum and credibility. As the bio had indicated, we do have a great number of professionals, ex-NASA employees, astronauts, astronaut brothers on our advisory board. We have developed enough credibility that we have been chosen as one of 3 agencies in the state of Missouri to receive NASA artifacts. That is no small feat. We are currently waiting for the disposition of over $11 million worth of stuff. That's more than just a toilet seat, a notebook, and a hammer. Space stuff is expensive, it's very expensive, but one thing that I would remind you is that everything, for the most part, that flies in space is custom built and a work of art. It doesn't come off an assembly line. And therefore, as a result, there are people who are involved in building those things, and that money goes into paying their salaries, and they get to support their families and have the kind of lifestyle that we're used to in the United States. So, and I will be addressing that a little more later on, but whenever you think about the space budget, please do not consider it, as the title would say, a needless expense. It is not. There's a lot of reasons why we need to continue to be a spacefaring nation. We are small at the museum, but I think you'll be very surprised if you were to come and visit us. We're open currently Friday and Saturday from 9 to 5, and Sunday afternoon from 1 to 5. We would be open more, but we're an all-volunteer organization. I get paid more than anybody else, and that's twice as much as anyone else, which is zero. But we are very serious about what we do, and we would invite you to come, and I think you'll be very surprised when you do come and see what is on display there. There are larger museums that would covet many of the articles that we actually have on display in the museum.